All right, guys. So this is where we are at right now. So we've got our invaders closing in on our player here, our ship, and they're firing bullets at us, and we can't do anything about it at the moment here. So we're going to fix that this game here. So you can see these bullets are randomly firing off. I guess they're lasers. You'll notice the node count keeps going up and down as they join the scene and leave it, but this is what we did last time, so hopefully you are seeing that on your screen. So this lesson today, or this is a little screencast, we're going to focus on giving the player the ability to fight back here. All right, so let's get right to it. So let's go to our player.swift file. All right, and right across the top here, right below our import statements here, we're going to create, we want to limit how often the player can fire a bullet, so we're going to create a way to do that. Okay, so we're going to create actually, let's see here, we're going to put this, my mistake here, we're going to put this in our class here. All right, so we're going to create a private variable, so private var can fire, and we're going to set that equal to true. Okay, so this is just going to kind of regulate when the player can fire. Okay, so now let's go back. We're just going to stay in the, or set that to a bool. Sorry. All right, so let's stay inside our class here. Okay, and we're going to go to the fire bullets method down below. All right, we're going to put some stuff in here, so I'm just going to space out a little. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's add the following stuff here. So we're going to start with an if statement. So if, all right, so we're going to put the bang in there, exclamation point, can fire. Okay, so if it's not can fire, so basically we're kind of looking at that, we're going to return a value. Okay, if not, okay, else, okay, so then we're going to say, okay, here's what's going to happen. So again, we're first checking to make sure the player is able to fire by checking if it's set to true. If it isn't, we immediately return from the method. If the player can fire, okay, we come all the way down into this with what we're going to type in right now. So we're going to set can fire equal to false. Okay, so we're just going to flip the logic on that one so they can't immediately fire another bullet. So basically, it's going to kind of, only one at a time here. Now we got to bring in our player bullet instance and set this up here. Okay, so let's create a bullet constant. We're going to set that equal to player bullet. Okay, which has already been set up for us here. We did that in class. And we're going to, this is kind of similar to what we did in our last one. This one's going to be laser. Okay, the bullet sound's going to be, we're actually going to have a sound on this one here. So we're, tab over, we're going to go laser .mp3. Okay, so this will have a little sound effect to it. Should work. Again, these are the files we brought in here. Okay, but we'll check that out here in a moment. All right, so we're just creating an instance of the bullet. Now we got to set up the position as always. Okay, so kind of similar to what we did last time. So bullets.position. There we go. .x is equal to self.position.x. Okay, now we're going to go on to the y coordinates, or the y position of this guy here. Excuse me, we'll go bullet.position.y. I got to type that a little better. There we go. And then that's going to be self.position.y. Now we're going to add self.size.height divided by 2. So we're just going to offset that a little bit. And as always, let's add that. So scene.addChild. We got to add to our scene. We're going to add the bullet to the scene. Okay, so that's part one there. All right, then from here we just got to set up our actions. Okay, so once again, just like last time, we want these to happen at the same time here. So we're going to do a sequence. So let's let move bullet. Get rid of that action. We just enter down so you can see that a little easier. Okay, that's going to be equal to an SK action. All right, move to. So where do we want the bullet to go to? All right, so that's CG points. All right, and we're going to go ahead and we'll just click on that and use our floats here. So it's going to be self.position.x. Okay, for that. The y is going to be scene.size. Let's see here, heights. Okay, and then the duration for this one, let's see, we'll set it to 1 second. Okay, so that's going to be how the bullet's going to move across the screen there. Okay, then again, we want to remove the bullet because now that you've seen the invader fire, it's going to be very similar. So remove bullet action. Okay, that's going to be an SK action. And then we're just going to remove it from the parent view. So remove from parents. And then bullet.run action. And then we want SK action. We're going to call the sequence again so we can have both of these actions happening simultaneously. So move bullet action and remove bullet action. Okay. And there we go, one more time out. And then let wait enable to fire. So this will control when can we fire again at those invaders. SK action. Wait, so we're going to make them wait about a half a second here, 0.5 seconds. And let's run those actions on our game here. Run action. Wait to enable fire and completion. And then self can fire is equal to true. So this block of code here, okay, basically is going to it's going to give our user who's ever using the app the ability to fire at the invaders. All right, but also it's going to give them the, they're going to have to wait before they can fire again here, all right, because it can't just be one after another. So before we get on here, looks like we got a little error right now. Oh yeah, because this needs to be completion, not completes. All right, so we're doing a completion block there. So let's see if that fixes that up here. Let me build my app. Command V. I think the error went away, but let's just make sure we're all good to go here. Wait to enable fire. Let's see. Okay, so I decided, you can see I jumbled up my words here. So what I will do, so I will leave it as wait enable to fire. So I'll clean it up here. So sorry about the confusion there, guys. So should take care of that. It should now be a resolved identifier, and it is. So now let's go to the last part of this one. Pretty quick little lesson here. So we need to go back to our game scene. Okay, this is the scene where it all happens here. We're going to go back up to the top and go to the touches began function, and then we're going to say player. All right, we've got the variable made up top here, dot fire bullet. Okay, and then self. Okay, so we're calling that function here. So this is basically, we're just calling the fire bullet on player. And then now when you run the app here, if you test it, you should be able to fire a bullet when you tap the screen. So check that out. Hopefully that works for you there. But now we are a little bit closer. Now we start getting into the fun part where we start setting up the collisions here. So what happens when we make contact with an invader or the invader makes contact with us. But before we do that, check this out. Make sure you are firing from your rocket ship on the bottom there. And then we'll move on from there. So good job, guys.